I'm driving a S204 right now. When people look at it, I don't exactly, don't fit the usual profile of a S204 driver.
And then my friend drove past the 204 and he's like, why old man sia?
Hello, my name is Loy. Next to me is my son. His name is Manho.
I'm Manho.
I was born in Malaysia. Okay, so I grew up there, and public transport, it doesn't exist. Okay, so cars is everything. That is why for us, at the age of before we hit legal age, we're already driving on our own. Okay, illegally in a way. In a kampong is okay. So that is why once we get a car, and then you get the feel of being free, on Malaysia B roads and all that. And at the time, there's only manual, right? There's no auto. So I think right from that moment, you just like, the feeling of in control, okay, of going anywhere you want to, any time of the day, without worrying whether you can get a cab or anything. We used to drive like Suzuki, Corona. It doesn't even exist nowadays, okay. And Corona in manual, by the way, it's 1.6. And we always like to challenge friends, okay, to get from Singapore to Kelantan. That's where I came from. It's about over 100 kilometers of B roads. Okay, there's no highway. I'm sorry, there's no highway. And how fast will you take? What is the fastest times you can take to reach there? So I think that was when it gets crazy, just because, and you are young, okay? I just got my license not long, so we try to drive as fast as we can, okay? And overtaking a lot of, cars on the B roads. When Manho was born, that was 1998. I was driving a Gallon, okay?
1996.
1996, sorry. I was driving a Gallon, a V6 Gallon, a very nice car at the time. So I think I would take it that is the first ride that we both sat in together.
For me, it was as far as I can remember. I think my longest memory and the thing that I liked the most all the way was cars. So honestly, I don't even know how I got to like cars so much, but it's probably because of influence from my dad. So in the past, he'll start reading, buying car magazines and all that. So he'll start reading them, and then I'll just sit beside him and see all the pictures. That I don't know how to read ma. So I just look at the picture. Wow, this car sweet. Then he flip page. Then this car sweet. That's all. So that's how it started I guess. But from then on, I just like cars all the way till today and hopefully for many more years to come.
By the way, the magazine that he's referring to is Hot Stuff. I don't know any one of you still know that magazine. It was that time, okay? So basically the magazine has hardly any write-up. It's basically all the zheng car, like what you say, all done up nicely and with pretty models all over it. Okay, so I think that was the magazine that actually I followed for a while. And we shared together. When it was just able to walk, okay, the only words that come out of his mouth is actually the brands of all the cars. When we go out walking around the neighborhood, and he would just utter Rover, Honda, Toyota, and seriously, I mean, kids, he is the one, okay? So he really has petrol flowing in his blood, I think. So, my entry into this performance car only started sometime about 2005. That was when MI, allowed people to test drive the WRX, which I think is a first, and it's a very daring move by MI. So I test drove the first Block I WRX, and I was hooked. The first jab on the throttle, and it just flies, okay? It's experience of my life. It's better than roller coaster, and that is when, I bought a 2005 Block I WRX.
I remember it was a really, really long wait. It felt like it was really long, and the collection date was 26 September 2005, and he picked me up from school. At that time, I was still in primary 3, so it was a Monday, and it was 6, close to 7 p.m. He picked me up, and we went to pick up the car at 7+. He was like, wow, when I first saw the car, I was so excited. It was the best day of my life.
So I owned the WRX from 2005 to 2009. Okay, so it's about 3 years plus, less than 4 years, maybe 3 years and 8 months. So I've modded quite a fair bit. So especially during the first 2.5 years, yeah, we really do shopping every weekend, almost. Okay, like I said, even we have no intention to buy, we'll still go. Just to see what is up there, you know. You can go on every time, go to the same shop, you just look at all those parts, you know. So yeah, that was really a fun time.
So I'll get really, really excited when like the weekends are here and he'll be like, hey, tomorrow we go to Garage R, or hey, tomorrow we go to Silent, or whichever workshop to check out some car parts. So I'll be really, really excited. Yeah, so both of us on the weekends, as a family, in fact, so we would go there in our WRX and then just ogle at all the car parts, all the shiny new exhausts, all the brand new coilovers. Yeah, so I think that was really, really, really fun.
When the 204 came out, launched, you know, Glenn Tan managed to bring in 30 units, and he was asking for the first unit, I think 160, and every unit he sells, he wants to charge another 1,000 more. So by the time you get to 30th unit, it's 190,000. We went to the motor show together. I tell you, it was beautiful. Because, you know, of the equipment that they throw in, with a nice carbon fiber Recaro seat and all the niceties. I tell you, a special Yamaha dampers and all the ECUs and all that. So you really fall for it. So, but it's too expensive. I mean, 160,000 is too much. The downturn came, economy downturn in 2008. So like I say, it's not easy to sell this kind of car in Singapore at that kind of price at that time. You know, for 190,000, you can get a lot of Continental luxury car. Okay, I mean, it's just for the brand itself, the prestige. So, you know, a lot of people will actually go for that kind of car rather than a performance car, a limited edition one like that. So he still left some units around, and he was going at a very, very good price, really cost price. So in fact, it was the last unit. Okay, so the 30th of 30th, okay, I still have the badge there. So it was advertised. And by the time I went in the showroom, it was sold. So my heart was broken. I said, oh, one chance in a life to get, you know, a special edition to S204, and it was sold. But miraculously, 1 week or 2 weeks later, the advertisement resurfaced. It's still available. So I charged down, and I was told by the sales that the previous buyer didn't get the loan approved. So that's how I snatched the car. That's how I end up with the Hawkeye, the S204. There is a real gap between an STI and a WRX, you know, even modern. Okay, we're not just talking, like I say, you know, my criteria is normally not just about horsepower, not just pure power, but the handling of the car and how it gives you the feel.
I was counting down until the age of 18 to be able to get my license. On my birthday, I went to get my, sign up for my basic theory. And then from then on, went on to final theory and eventually passed my driver's license. Unfortunately, at that point of time, we were under an insurance company that didn't allow me to drive the S204. Anyone under the age of 28, they won't even bother insuring. They'll just say no. So that 1 year, it was very painful. I was just looking at the S204 sitting there, then the car looked back at me. Wow, very sad, cannot drive, got license. Wow, sadder than my breakups, yeah. Then, eventually after 1 year, I thought, maybe I should go around sourcing for another insurance company, which maybe will be willing to insure me. Luckily, we managed to switch insurance companies, and then from then on, I was able to drive the S204, and it was like, after that, right, once I can drive, right, that day, right, happiest day of my life. So I've been driving it for 5 years now. Still very, very happy and excited every time I get in the car. Although sometimes in traffic, it's a bit leceh, heavy clutch, need to shift, but then it still really makes me happy every time I get in the car, until today. I guess my dad had a big part to play in why I like driving manual so much today. So until today, when we are still huge fans of manual cars, then let's say we see something like cool, like for example, an MX-5. Then we'll just walk up to it just to check out whether the owner decides to get a manual. Yeah, so when we realize that it's a manual, we'll just be like super excited. We're like, look at each other, give the eye contact, then we giggle. Initially, when we were looking for another car, we were considering a few options lah. We were thinking BRZ, then we were also considering the FK8. The i30N was going to be launched soon, which was also around the price range, and also the Megane RS. I think they only brought in auto at that point of time, so that was also something that we wouldn't get. We went to like Volkswagen to look at a GTI. Unfortunately, they didn't bring in manual, so that was out of the question. So it was between like maybe the FK8 or like the BRZ, but like I wanted something rear-wheel drive to see how a rear-wheel drive car handles. So ultimately, it's slightly more affordable, and the fact that it's rear-wheel drive definitely, and also our family liked the looks of the BRZ. So ultimately, we went for it lah. Yeah, it ticked all the right boxes.
I think Manho went over, how we arrived at the decision to buy BRZ. So yeah, I think the important thing for us is a rear-wheel drive. Okay, we really wanted a rear-wheel drive, and actually NA is good. Okay, because I think the rest of them are still all turbo. So at least to get an NA car, 2 liter, not really that powerful. The torque really not that good, but then pretty smooth and linear delivery. So I think that was, and of course the looks, it looks cool, really cool. So I think that's, and when we got stock, it was a very easy car to drive. I mean, surprisingly, people look at it, look at a very fierce car. Actually, it can be your first manual car. Like the clutch is light, it's easy to handle, and it's very good to handle. That means it turns in very well. It traces the curve very well. Everything is good, okay? But of course, it's a little bit on the soft side. Okay, and if you drive a little bit harder, it tends to wobble a bit, erode. So I think what Manho has done, some of that which I definitely like, would be like the Cusco. The coilover is good, okay? It stiffens up the car a bit, and it handles a lot better. And of course, I think some of the performance upgrade make the car go a bit faster, especially at the low end, because the car low end is not so good. Yeah, so but generally it is really a very nice handling car.
When we got the BRZ, then we did. I really wanted to go to a track day, so I quickly just signed up for it after getting the car after 3 months, and then my whole family came along. My dad drove as well, so that was quite fun. And we did our first sort of drift event together. It was so they had an organizer organized a drift event at Changi Exhibition Center. So it was pretty much free for all. You can pay just $60 and you can go there and do donuts or figure eights or whatnot. So yeah, we signed up with my brother as well, and we were there just experimenting with the car. So that was really fun. Yeah, 呢個係影嚟慶祝 Father's Day。
Okay.
Yeah， 咁我有禮物俾你。
So you say he has a
呢個我哋喺should I say this in English？ 呢個係this was taken in Hong Kong 20
to be the year that we run together. Yeah.
2015 when we did our first. When I did my first 100K with my dad, this was taken right before the start of the race. Yeah, so this was Hong Kong. I think it was somewhere 8 AM or something. Yeah, just before. It was quite cold, so we were all wearing jacket and all that. Yeah, with my bro and my mom. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this very special episode on ZHNGTV Stories. Everyone here from ZHNGTV would like to wish all fathers a happy Father's Day. Please continue to like and subscribe to our channel as we will be producing more future content like this. If you have a story you would like to share with ZHNGTV and the viewers, do drop us your story on our social media platforms. Who knows, maybe we will make an episode out of it. So once again, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Okay lah, cut lah, done lah.